bright. Hold on. Oh my lord, hold on. Let's like, okay. Is this better? Woo, she's bright. Okay, let's try to ring this around. Okay. Oh, it's a vibe. It's a mood. Hello. Hi. So, cool story. Was doing the D&D today. You know, as the holidays come up, it just gets a little harder to completely stay on track and have a full session. So we had a short session today, which means I get to hang out with you all for a little bit. So we posted our second video of this week. I feel really proud. So it is Wednesday. As I mentioned, D&D happens on Wednesday. So I am going to start filming another kind of weekly vlog. As I'm doing the Bloomin Readathon, I am gonna be hashtag Bloomin Rat. I think that's it. If you're doing the Bloomin Readathon, let me know. So I am, oh, let me grab it. 1 second, be right back. Okay, so we are almost there. Look at it. And this includes a glossary. So we have, without accidentally reading the end. So I am currently on chapter 28 on page 393, and this book ends officially on page 424. So I have a little like over 30 pages, about 30 pages left in the story. So I thought we'd finally finish this one together after so many months of reading it, and also look like I'm telling you a scary story with having my ring light down here. But yay! We've almost got this one done. I'm so excited. So this one will be done, and then I am going to pick up, I think I mentioned this on my last video, but I'm gonna pick up Payback's a Witch next. I'm feeling a little cutesy vibe. I also read before bed now, and although I have ACOTAR that I'm in the middle of reading, I'm like 30% of the way, it's on my Kindle, and I find if I read my Kindle before bed, it's not as conducive with getting me ready for sleep as reading a physical book. So I think we will read Payback's a Witch or Amelia Aeirwood Basic Witch. I keep like, because I don't know why the library puts the sticker here. I really hate it, but it's like cutting off the full name, which I believe is Amelia Aeirwood Basic Witch. So we could read this graphic novel and knock another one off of our bingo board. And I feel like I didn't do this in my last video, so I'm gonna make sure, editing Victoria, I am telling you, please put a bingo board up here, my friend, so they can see, so all the people can see how we're doing. So I'm going to do that this time. I will have it up here as we finish books, and I will put little things on there as we mark books off of the bingo board this second half of this week. So this video is going to go up on Sunday, so it's only going to be a couple days from Wednesday to Saturday, so we'll see how much we can get read in that time. The plan is to start Payback's a Witch. We're going to finish Lockwood & Co., The Whispering Skull, and we're going to pick up Amelia Aeirwood Basic Witch so we can get this one going. I'm really excited to read this graphic novel, and then we'll also finish the second volume of Witch Hat Atelier, and at least that will put us at 4 books for this week that we're completing. So I think that will be a really good number to get through in the second half of the week. That being said, let's finish these 30 pages. That way we can get ready for bed, because it is currently 9:30 at night, which is why I have this ring light here, like I'm telling you ghost stories. But let's get going. Let's read. Okay. All right. We have officially finished this one. Oh my goodness. I feel like a big relief. We finished The Whispering Skull. I thought was... Sorry, neighbors. The part at the end that I thought was different was not, but there are some changes at the end of the book compared to what they did at the show. So I'm curious to see how that plays into the next book, which I do have. I don't think I'll be reading it for the Bloomin Readathon, but I enjoyed this one. It took a while. In regards to comparing this to The Screaming Staircase, which I read a couple months ago, I greatly appreciated that Lucy did not constantly rag on George's appearance in this book. There was little to none of that. I think there was none of it. It was night and day. So Lucy did not bother me at all in this book. A vast improvement. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading the next one and curious to see where the story takes from here. So we will mark that off. I believe that space was the propagation space. Propagation space was to read a book that has an adaptation. So this did have a Netflix adaptation, 1 season. If you have a chance, I do recommend checking it out. Unfortunately, they canceled it, but it was a phenomenal show. I really liked the actors that they chose for it and the changes they decided to make from The Screaming Staircase and The Whispering Skull. So those 2 books are going to be that first season that you can catch on Netflix. So if you do watch it, or if you have, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it because I really enjoyed that show, and that is why I picked up these books. Woo! Ah, that's so exciting. So that is 3 books that we've completed. We've marked them off now. Editing Victoria will go ahead and put them on here that we've completed them on the board. And tonight, after we get ready for bed, we are going to start Payback's a Witch. Yay! I'm so excited. I feel so accomplished right now. I hope that you're doing something small and delightful today to make yourself feel accomplished, because sometimes the little victories, as Allie says, I will have to wear my little victory shirt. I need to do laundry desperately, but I will make an attempt sometime this week to wear my little victory shirts, or sometime in the Bloomin Readathon to wear that shirt, because truly is little victories can change your whole week. So I was having kind of a shit day. This has definitely brought my spirits up a little bit more, along with the D&D. Let's get ready for bed. Good bedtime routines. And then we can read some more. Yay! Hello. It is Thursday. I just wanted to pop on here, so I forgot to mention yesterday, but if you watch my October TBR, I had put The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison on my TBR to celebrate Banned Book Week and to read a banned book. But I did not get to finish The Bluest Eye before October, and so being it is only, I had it on audiobook, being it's only 7-ish hours on regular pace, for audiobook, I thought I would listen to it while I was working today. And boy, my goodness. Obviously, I am familiar with Toni Morrison as an author and a force in Black culture in her books and really talking about difficult things. And so I have been wanting to read her for a long time, and I decided to pick The Bluest Eye, knowing very little about it. And I ended up putting it in the Ladybug space, which is read a book with a cute, simple cover, but you know its pages will destroy you. Now, I didn't know that it would fit in the Ladybug space when I read it, but my goodness. From what I understand, it's Toni Morrison's first novel, and what the story focuses on is a small town in Ohio and centers on the Black Americans who live there, especially a small girl named Piccola. There was an author's note at the end of the book, which I think gives a really good explanation of what Toni Morrison was trying to get at with this book. And it really hits on the intersection of how we as a society can break down marginalized groups, specifically here looking at Black Americans, at women, young girls. Please, if you're going to read it, I just want to let you know that there is a lot of heavy topics in this book, so definitely check those content warnings. I highly encourage that, but I do think it's a very uncomfortable book. I'll put that out there. Like, listening to it, reading it is a very uncomfortable book. It is interesting how she talks about at the end of the book why she has so many narrators talking around the story and adding color to the characters who are doing terrible things to the main character. Whether it's indifference, whether it's ignorance, blatant, horrible acts. It's complicated. It's a super complicated book. I haven't grasped it completely yet, and I feel like I need to sit in it a little bit more, maybe read another article from Toni Morrison or listen to her talk about it a little bit more so I can really grasp what she's trying to convey, the emotions she's trying to convey, the way that a society can tear down a young innocent girl. It's tough. It was a tough book. So I just wanted to pop in there while I was thinking about it. Probably not the best book to listen to while you're working because I was just stressed and yeah. I do want to read more Toni Morrison. I feel like sometimes I am definitely an escapist reader, so I do enjoy reading things that are more lighthearted and fantasy and taking you to another place, but I think it's really important to also read books that, you know, really dig deep at societal problems and things that deal with really tough things. Even though fantasies can do that, sci-fi can do that, it's very known for, you know, pointing things out in society. I think fiction does a really great job of doing that, better than nonfiction does sometimes, because you're able to remove yourself a little bit from the story and be able to look at those themes and problems that are being presented in a different way. But I just wanted to pop in here and talk through that. So we have filled the ladybug space here, and I will leave you at that. Just quick note, we did start Switch last night, but I just don't feel like talking about it right now because I'm very much in the headspace of thinking about the ending of Bluest and really trying to grasp it. So I'll say that for another time. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back to work now. Bye. Hello again. Okay, so I have some good news and bad news. Yes, am I just crawling on the floor? I am. So, we're about 30% of the way through Payback's a Witch. So that's the good news. That's what, you know, is exciting. We are making some headway. We are reading. So initial thoughts on this is kind of the bad news. Hello, Pumpkin. You're up there doing things. So initial thoughts on this is the voice of this character seems to be at odds with the world building and descriptions. I think there are parts in here where she's describing like parts of the town and things that are going on in this little witchy city that this takes place in, Thistle Grove, that I really like. I like the prose. I think I find it interesting. I saw a review, so I did go to update on Storygraph, and I saw someone say that Thistle Grove was their favorite character in the story, and thus far, I agree with that assessment. The main character, I feel like the author is trying to make her something that she's not, and then alluding to some kind of growth that she had in the 9 years after she left Thistle Grove. But to me, it doesn't really seem to show that she had any growth, because the character that they describe before she left seems more interesting to me than the character that we are kind of sitting in trying to make this modern protagonist. I feel like it's a little forced, and just all the characters seem they just are like one note, very flat characters to me thus far. And then her Hello. So last night we were talking, I was giving you an overview of my initial thoughts of Payback's a Witch, and my my SD card was full. Both of them, actually. I only have 2 right now, and I kind of had a feeling that they were gonna be full. Excuse my alfalfa-ness going on here. Small fact, I have 1,000 cowlicks. And if you don't know what a cowlick is, bless you. I'm so happy that you don't know what that is. But I was talking about this book and my reservations. I have not read any more, so last night I did a little more painting, and I watched the latest episode of Critical Role. I watched the live stream of Critical Role, which is a task, because if you don't know, Role is a live play D&D group slash company, and they play most Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Since I am in Central Time, that means they start at 9 p.m. Central Time. And if you are a tabletop role player, then you also know that tabletop games go on for anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. Could be longer, but Critical Role usually goes 3.5 to 4.5 hours, depending on the story and kind of where things are and where Matt finds a good place to kind of end that session. So I started at 9 because things have been crazy. And if you all want to talk about Critical Role, we can talk, because things have been wild. But anyways, we started at 9, and I stayed up to watch the whole thing because I just had to know the repercussions of the previous session and how that was going to play out in this episode. It was great. All that is to say that I did not pick this up anymore last night after our SD card let us know that we were done for the night. So I haven't watched that clip yet, so I don't remember where I left off on why I'm not super into this book, but I'm just gonna summarize here. So I think the writing's a little disjointed. I think the author was looking to make the characters more modern, more edgy than the story, like less fantasy, less the fantasy, more like modern romance style dialogue in like a cozy fantasy setting. And I just found the descriptions of the town and everything like that to be far more interesting than the dialogue of the characters. And all of the characters fell really flat for me thus far. And as I said, I'm about 30% of the way through this book. None of them are really resonating with me. I'm not really rooting for any of them. I don't really understand the motivations of the main character very well, and I don't think that's necessarily that her motivations are bad. I think that the motivations were told but not shown. And I don't know how many of you remember from school, but please show me, don't tell me. I am going to keep reading, and I think I mentioned in the previous section that somebody had a really great point that the location, Thistle Grove, is my favorite character in this book. It has a character of its own, and I'm very curious to see how much we get. I don't think, as of right now, if things keep going the way that they are going, this is apparently a part of a series, but I do not think I'll be picking up another one of these books. So that's where we're at with that. But right now, I am feeling drowsy, sleepy, just not really in the mood to dive back into that book, especially after I mentioned that it has not been my favorite thus far. But we made some hot cocoa, and something to let you know a little bit about my changing personality as the seasons change is I become a hot chocolate fiend. A fiend. Like, it has started. It was actually pretty late. Usually September's rolling around and I am already ready to dive into copious amounts of hot chocolate, like hot chocolate every single day. But October, September flew by, wasn't really caring for it. Then all of a sudden, the weather changed a little bit. It's been very dreary here in Dallas, and I am living for hot chocolate. Plus we got marshmallows, which makes a huge difference. I can't have hot chocolate without marshmallows and or whipped cream. One or the other at least, both is great. And it's just perfect right now. This is like my favorite mug. I know it seems like right now where we're located, so we're in my living room. I'm holding this very precariously. It seems like I love yellow. And I will say yellow is not my favorite color, but I do enjoy it for living spaces, I guess. And then also for breakfast places. So this is one of my favorite breakfast places in Houston. And when we were leaving, we had a bunch of points racked up, and I used my points to get this mug to remember it by, and I love it. It's the perfect hot chocolate mug. It's like 8 ounces on the dot, so it makes it really easy to just scoop in a couple scoops of hot chocolate and have a great time. So what are we doing tonight now? What are we doing right now? What we're gonna do right now is I am on chapter 9 of Witch Hat Atelier, book 2. So I think I'm gonna finish this one up. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know? And then I think to continue on the graphic novel journey, we will go ahead and read Aeirwood Basic Witch. I think since I'm just really not in the mental space to read, this will be a good alternative. And we can still get cozy with our hot chocolate and our nice mood lighting from my very favorite lamp, and sit in our chair here and get a little reading in for the Bloomin Readathon, because this is gonna be a short week video since we did like a bonus one on Wednesday. So we'll be wrapping on tomorrow, which is Saturday, so I can have this posted on Sunday. I am gonna go grab my phone because I left it over in the kitchen counter, and then we'll get cozy and read a little graphic novel and finish up this manga, and I'll check back in with you. All right, be right back.
This is one of my favorite parts, again, to stop over here about mangas, is just like the pages that are just gonna have art here. So this is a new character we just met not too long ago, and then this is our main character, and this is another witch who I think will be our, as I mentioned, I put this in the non-romantic love category, and I feel like this is the character that she's going to develop a very strong non-romantic relationship with. My theory. Not proven true yet, but it's just a theory.
All right, volume 2 is done. I don't even know. There's so much going on, and I don't know how to describe the story without giving things away, but it's getting interesting. I definitely think I'll continue reading on the series to see how Coco and Agate and all of the witch apprentices continue to grow and flourish along with this evil group, rebel group. They're called the Brimmed Caps. To see how that continues more into the story and how that really relates to Coco. So excited to pick up the next couple volumes. I do think my library has a good amount of them, so I definitely think I will continue reading this manga as the year ends and we head into 2023. So that means since we finished that one, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this graphic novel up. Again, that's Amelia Aeirwood, Basic Witch, and I am excited to dive into this one. I don't know if this one's a series or if this is just like a single book, so I'm curious to see. But some super cute art. Very different design styles depending on what the page. This is like the introduction, and then in the back they just have some art styles. Like, I think these are super cute. I love her little witch hat. But yeah, so let's see what Amelia is up to here.
Hello. So I didn't end up filming anything more after this. We actually had a pretty busy Saturday, but I did end up finishing Amelia Aeirwood Basic Witch. It was really cute. I think if you like the Giant Days series, you'll enjoy this one. And I feel like it's just a quick little graphic novel that you can pick up on a day you're just looking to put a smile on your face. So with that in mind, I did place this in the sunshine space. So that brings us to a total of 5 spaces here for the Bloomin Readathon. We've got the sunshine space, the dandelion, the propagation space, the mole, and the ladybug. And of course, we can't forget that free space. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching and happy reading.